Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Fed League Flash video. And Thursday, I like to try and do stuff that's not in the normal vein of what's going on for the week. So this is kind of a special feature type of thing. Today, talking about the schedule matrix and the glitches that the league has had to deal with this year. All right, so um, looking at this now, because we are in just about the middle of December, and we have 6 dates now up to this point that have been postponed and carried on to somewhere else later this season. All right. We have the teams that are involved here. The Athens Rock Lobsters. They've got 3 dates that they've had to postpone at their home now, which we got. We got the 6th and 7th last week against the Blue Ridge Bobcats. We've got the 12th, which is today. That game was uh, postponed in a preventative type of measure because they wanted to make sure that they could pass the fire inspection and get their certificate of occupancy, which you have to have in order to be able to allow people into an arena. So now I'm recording this on Wednesday. I'm going to release it on Thursday morning. So I'm saying Thursday is today, but Wednesday the inspection was due to occur. Depending upon that, we could be looking at a postponement of Friday's game as well. We'll get into that in just a bit. For HZ Venom, as they are now called, Hockey Club Venom, yeah, 2 dates that got postponed. One was not their fault. One was because Watertown was supposed to get down there and their bus broke down and couldn't make it down. So, but nonetheless, it ended up creating a backlog of games to get pushed to a future date. And then, of course, there is the game on November 22nd that was supposed to happen against the Danbury Hat Tricks. That got postponed. Um, so we'll see what happens with that. We'll talk about the Venom in just a bit. Watertown, they now have 2 games to make up. Um, again, both situations kind of beyond their control. The first one being the incident with the broken down bus, and the second was the Saturday game in Motor City. Scoreboard malfunctioned, and the on ice officials left prematurely, forcing the game to get postponed. Motor City, of course, has that one game. Now, this one is easy to make up. There are 2 possible dates that are available, which that game can get moved to. One in February, one in March. So that's kind of taken care of, but it hasn't been officially announced yet. All right. For the Monroe Moccasins, of course, they've got the game today that ended up getting called. But again, it's good. We don't have a repeat of the situation last week where Blue Ridge traveled most of the way. They were an hour away from Athens, and they got the call. Oh, sorry, no game. Go back home. Um, we didn't want that again, so Athens said, okay, we don't know if we're going to be ready on Thursday or not. We can't commit to saying, yeah, we'll be ready. So let's postpone the game so Monroe does not have to make the long travel over and then, not play a game. So help save on travel costs. So there we go. That is the breakdown of the games. And of course, we talked about the Bobcats, last week. So potentially there are 3 more days that there could be a postponement. One is tomorrow, the Mississippi Athens game. If the certificate of occupancy was able to be granted yesterday, well, then great. The game's on. But I would expect that by the time that we get to midday Thursday, we will know whether or not that game will be taking place. Keep a watch on the Fed website today. See if the game up in the top stays the same or if it gets changed to postponed. If so, then we've got another game we've got to carry into the future. 2 days that uh, the HC Venom do not have secured yet because we don't know where they're going to be playing. They said they're going to be playing in multiple venues. So obviously, you need to play somewhere where these two games can still go on. Could there potentially be games in Newburgh still? Possibly, being that this is new ownership. Uh, but I don't know the details of all that. It sounds like PKB LLC, which is a new ownership group, is still kind of getting everything mapped out and figured out. And, there's a lot of loose ends to tie up, and it takes time. So, they're working with the league now as far as securing venues, dates, times, all that kind of stuff. So there's still uncertainty, but at least there's time now for that to get worked on. So these two games could potentially get forced into being postponed. All right, so that's 6 days we already have, plus possibly three more. Now, the future problems that we're looking at, first of all, is what we were just talking about, the uncertainty of the Venom's home half of their schedule. They still have 21 home games to play. Um, Again, multiple facilities are going to be used, so where do you play these? And when? Now, the Dashers are already going to be in this part of the state. They have a game with Binghamton on the 20th. All right. But the 21st, is there going to be a game? We don't know. So they're going to have to figure something out by the 20th. For sure. That's 9 days away. Um, I'm sorry, that's the one that's 15 days away. No, it is 9 days away. I'm looking at my notes over here, and okay, 9 days away. They have to figure that out. For the Binghamton date on the 27th, well, we got 2 weeks, so there's a little bit of time to try and get that figured out. You can't just flip that game to Binghamton because there's already a different event going on at Binghamton's arena that night. So it's either Hudson Valley, HC Venom finds another barn in their local area to play in, or the game gets postponed. All right, it's a possibility. Um, of course, we talked about also about the Mississippi game. We're gonna know. We're gonna know today whether the game's going to be played or not. So there's what we're facing. You got the uncertainty of Hudson Valley situation. You've got all these bus issues. Here's all the teams that have had bus issues just so far this year. We're a third of the way into the schedule, and 6 teams have had bus breakdowns. So for once, Carolina's on the good end of this. Carolina just got a new bus, so hopefully they're not going to experience a breakdown this year. They were the ones that were notorious last year, and this year they've got a bright, brand new, shiny bus. Meanwhile, all these teams are having struggles. So that, you're talking about there could potentially be more games postponed down the line because we don't know how reliable these vehicles are. I'm with the Binghamton Black Bears. We got a game in you know in Danville this weekend. Well, we might make it. We might not. It's to that point. Just very, very difficult. And then you're facing the fact that this, by all indications, with most meteorologists, we're going to have a very rough winter, at least in the northern half of the league's footprint. Michigan, Illinois, New York, Connecticut. It looks like it's going to be a really, really rough winter. So there could be postponements there as well. I mean, Watertown a couple weeks ago, they had 6 feet of snow. Yeah, 6 feet, not inches. It's crazy. You just never know what's going to happen. So the problem is, as the year ticks on, as we get deeper and deeper into the schedule, there are now fewer and fewer dates in which you can reschedule a game. All right, and that's very problematic when you have a situation like Athens. They've already got to push back 3 games. They're not the only game in town with Aikens Ford Arena. All right, the arena is a separate entity from the league, and they have other events that they have planned. So that limits uh, the amount of dates that the Rock Lobsters could say, oh, well, we couldn't play this day. Let's just move it to X day. Well, the Aikens Ford Arena might be, well, sorry, that's not available that day. It gets tougher. The farther you go on into the year, the more likely you are to lose games. And what I mean by lose games is they're just canceled. Yeah, and that's the end of it. If that happens, then go back to my Monday video with Stars and Standings talking about the points percentage. There's a very realistic possibility that we could see a situation where uh, all the teams can't play 56 games. Some may be able to make their 56, some may only be able to play 53 or 54. And if that's the case, then the league will have to make an adjustment and make the points percentage column the primary way of determining who gets what seed in the playoffs. You could have more wins, but if your point percentage is better, that's how you're going to get the top seed. All right. So and it's extremely likely now. For years, the league never played a balanced schedule. For the first 11 seasons of the league's existence, everybody played a different number. Excuse me, 12. First 12 seasons, everybody played a different number of games. So points percentage was how you determine the order in the standings. Now, with 14 teams, 10 teams making the playoffs, that could make a big difference, especially when you look at the standings and you see Baton Rouge in first place right now with 33 points. However, their points percentage, if you factor in that, bam, they're in fourth place. So that's going to make a big difference with some clubs. Other clubs, not so much of an issue. For example, Binghamton has the top amount of points, they have the top points percentage, so they wouldn't get affected. But as the year goes on, that's going to become more and more of a factor. So this gets to be a very interesting and dicey situation as the schedule matrix crumbles and starts to glitch. So hopefully we can get these issues that we are facing currently taken care of pretty darn quick. Hudson Valley situation. Hopefully they'll be able to say, okay, we have arenas for all 21 dates. We're set, and then we got to plug in these 2 other dates. Let's get them plugged in. That could happen. All right, we don't know. Um, what to do about Athens? Well, hopefully they'll have their occupancy permit, because if they don't, that causes a problem. So we will see. It's going to be a very, very interesting rest of the year until we get the schedule remapped out. So, and that takes time and a lot of effort. So let's see what happens. It's going to be a real interesting conclusion to the season. That's for sure. All right, so that's a look at our matrix issue. All right, hope you liked this video. Make sure to hit like and subscribe down below. Make sure you're following me on Facebook and on the Flash Audio Network. Later today, I will have uh, our uh, our news and notes for the day. Um, Up to now, there really hasn't been a whole lot going on in the league, so um, we'll see. All right. Thank you all for watching, for your support. I'm Gary Ryan for the Fed League Flash. Have yourself a great day.